Well, hi, my name is Brian Janey, registered piano technician and appraiser affiliated with the American Society of Appraisers, and I am the piano appraiser. I'm here in this video going over circumstances about how it is that you might consider selling a piano yourself. Maybe that might work, maybe it won't. And there's a very frequent conversation I find myself having with clients that call me in this sort of circumstance that I thought I would just go over some of the points that it is that I go over with those folks in the video so that you can maybe have a little bit of an understanding as to things that it is that you need to think about in trying to sell a piano yourself. First off, talk with a dealership. If you have a piano that is 20 or 30 years old or newer, you might be surprised to realize that dealerships are actually seeking used inventory that they can recondition and set out for sale. So I would make contact with a local dealer, take some pictures of it, have those ready to email to that dealer so that you can prepare, including pictures of the inside if it's an upright, or the strings and stuff with the lid up if it's a grand, so that you can display for them what it is you have, and then allow them to possibly consider just giving you what would be basically kind of a wholesale offer. Sometimes people are fine with that if they're in a pinch and need the piano to be gone, or at least maybe then you'll know what it is that the offer might be, and you can consider that as you decide to become a little micro piano dealer and sell the piano yourself. So number one, make sure you talk with the dealership. And also there is the option of some dealers, if you have a nicer piano with one of the big name brands on it, they may actually offer to consign it for you if they think it's of, in particularly good condition. And speaking of condition, that is so key when it comes to pianos. The condition is really where the value is at. So if that piano's just been sitting for a while, maybe the kids have moved out and it's just been hanging out in the living room and nobody's really played it, and you've decided not to tune it anymore since nobody's playing it. Bad idea, by the way. Or if you find yourself in a position where you're downsizing or other circumstances like that, first thing you want to do is probably get a hold of a local piano technician and have them come out and help you understand what sort of shape that piano's in. Have them go through the tuning. If you're wanting to actually ask real money for this, it needs to sound as good as it possibly can. Because if somebody sits down at a piano and it's not tuned, honestly, they don't know if it can hold a tune. So yeah, that's kind of important. Just like you would doll up and wax a car and make sure everything's good before you try to sell it, you need to do something similar with a piano, just to make sure that it is in excellent presentable shape and do what a dealer would do to prepare it for sale. Also realize you're selling your piano privately. That's very different than a piano dealer selling a piano. That basically means that you're selling the piano pretty much as is, right? You're not going to give them a warranty on it. And you're basically, the buyer is assuming all of the liability in the transaction. So you need to make sure that you're thinking of that and how it is that you price it, where it is that you might do some looking around to find out what your piano might be valued at, is places where people are selling pianos privately. And there are a couple of spots that you could certainly consider looking. One of them that's a real big deal is pianomart.com. Pianomart is a place where it's basically a broker sort of service where people will, put up pianos for sale. And it may be the spot where you decide to put yours up for sale. And in some instances, you might find dealers that sneak in there and put their stuff up. No shame on them. They're just trying to widen their reach with the inventory that they have. But there are other spots. You could try reverb.com. That's a spot generally where musicians sell a lot of gear, electronic stuff, keyboards, other things like that. But I do find a fair number of pianos that are also up on Reverb, another spot that you could maybe advertise it. But if it's a nicer piano, yeah, you don't want to do the Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace offer up thing. I mean, if you've got a 1970s Wurlitzer console or something like that, yeah, it is kind of a garage sale item, honestly. So, you know, that would be an appropriate market for that. But if it's a nicer piano, no, those spots wouldn't be the appropriate market for it. So also realize that if you're selling a piano, there's this little thing you need to think about called market exposure time. Unfortunately, a lot of the calls that I get, I find myself talking with people that are in a hurry to sell a piano. And unfortunately, I have to inform them that if that house is closing escrow in 3 weeks and that piano needs to be gone by then, you're not unfortunately selling it, you are liquidating it. And it means that you're not giving it enough time actually to be exposed to the market so that you can ask appropriate amounts of money for it. You need a quick sale. And that is unfortunately a lot of circumstance that I find myself in with people that are trying to sell a piano, and it is kind of a sad thing. So I hope these tips are helpful. If you need any assistance in helping you to understand what it is that your piano might sell for in a private party situation and you're kind of clueless as to where to look or need some help with that, feel free to reach out. You can go to my website, thepianoappraiser.com. Just click on the little link there that says Engage the Piano Appraiser. That's me. And I will get back to you and we can have a conversation, and maybe I can do a little bit of research for you and figure out what it is that you might ask, particularly if you have someone that actually is interested in buying it. Those are the situations I find myself a little bit more lively in, because that way at least we have a buyer. They just want to know how much to pay for it. So I hope that's helpful. Thank you for watching, and subscribe to the channel if you find these sorts of things. I don't know, this kind of content. It's not like I'm, doing stuff constantly here, but your subscription does give me warm fuzzies. So I hope that you do that. Look forward to being of service if you need that kind of help. This is Brian Janney, the Piano Appraiser.